We are almost halfway through the 2024 AFL season, so today I thought I'd jump on Squiggle and predict the rest of it, including the final series, to see that at the halfway point, who I think will win the premiership and how I think the table will shape up. Now, just before we start, I noticed the other day that 60% of my viewers aren't actually subscribed. And with so much content coming up and also being on the final push to 7K, it would mean the world if you could hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an upload. Let's start off with tonight's game, the Bulldogs and the Swans. I've seen a few people go on the Dogs in an upset here. Most notably, I saw Riles Macca went the Dogs, who is probably the most high-profile Swans fan on YouTube. So that tells you all you need to know. Sydney fans think this is a danger game. However, I'm going to go Sydney in this one by 23. I think they'll be far too professional for the Bulldogs. Freo Collingwood. Call me biased all you want, but if you look at our stats over the past 5-6 weeks, we're one of the best teams in the competition in actually getting the ball inside our forward 50, winning the contest. We just cannot convert. And I think with the news that Sean Darcy's going to be back in the team and Luke Jackson being allowed to go back into the forward line, I think our scoring output would be so much higher. We've done a lot of work throughout the week in training on goal kicking. I'm going to go the Dockers by 12 points. I think we beat the Pies at home, and that rockets us into third. I don't think we'll be there for too long. By the way, this little round 11 bit will probably almost be a mini tipping video, and then the rest of it, we won't go as in depth. Let's go Root, Power. Power are going to be far too strong. Port by 48. Carlton versus Gold Coast. Could go either way, but I see the Blues bouncing back by 8 points here, moving back into the 8. Cats, Giants. I will be streaming this game on Saturday. I think the Giants should go away to Kardinia Park and give the Cats their 4th straight loss. I'm going to go the Giants by 20 points here. They're very good at GMHBA historically, and I think the Giants will bounce back. Richmond, Essendon. I'm going to go Essendon by 70. It's going to be a big Dreamtime win. Hawthorn versus Brisbane. At the Docklands, could go either way. I think Brisbane will win, but Hawthorn do like playing at Marvel. Melbourne Saints, I mean, neither team's in the greatest vein of form, but if I had to pick one, it'd be Melbourne. And then Adelaide West Coast. Never know with West Coast, but they're not great away from home. I'm going to go to the Crows by 28. So after round 11, my top 8, Sydney, Essendon, Port, Giants, Melbourne, Freo, Geelong, Carlton. Here we go. Port versus Carlton. Port at the Adelaide Oval will get it done by 20. Who move into second. Pies, Dogs. I think the Pies will win that by 9. Hawks, Crows. I reckon the Hawks at the MCG in a bit of an upset. West Coast, St Kilda. Honestly, I'm going West Coast. Like, genuinely. St Kilda moving to 16th. West Coast 4th win of the season. At home, not only are West Coast playing the better football overall at the moment, but at home, that could be an even bigger win, to be honest. I'm going to go to the Eagles by 18. I'm sorry. Geelong versus Richmond. Geelong will go Kardinia Park, break their 4-game losing streak and beat the Tigers by 10 goals, back into the top 4. Melbourne versus Freo at Traeger Park. What a game this is going to be. If it remains how I've got it here, 7th versus 8th, this could go either way. Considering we've never played at Traeger Park before, I'm going to go Melbourne. But that being said, the Demons lost at Traeger Park last year. So I'm going to go the Demons by 10, but this game could really go either way. Suns versus Bombers. Suns at Carrara. I'm going to go Gold Coast. And they've got to be winning those sorts of games if they want to make finals. Crows will smash the Tigers. I think Bulldogs at Marvel will beat Brisbane. Hawthorn Giants. I'm going to go the Hawks down in Tassie. I'm going to go the Hawks. West Coast and North. I think West Coast win that by 30, which is crazy that West Coast are almost out of the bottom 4. St Kilda versus Gold Coast. I think St Kilda have got to win a game at some point, and I think they'll narrowly beat the Suns. St Kilda can't lose that many games in a row. Swans, Cats. I'm going to go with the Sydney Swans by 24 points. Essendon versus Carlton. I'm going to go the Bombers by 13 in that one. Pies, D's. I reckon Collingwood by 20. Brisbane will beat St Kilda at the Gabba by 33. Bulldogs, Freo. Again, it's just a game that could go either way. I'm going to go the Dogs here by 11 though. The Dogs fire themselves into the 8. That's just such a Western Bulldogs record. 7-7. They're a very mid team. Not mid in bad terms. I'm just saying they're very mid-range. Richmond versus Hawthorn. I'm going to go with the Hawks in this one by 34. Big win for them. Adelaide versus Sydney. Sydney can't keep on winning. Every team has to lose a game. I'm going to go the Crows on an upset here. They're going to get their revenge from the Ben Keys game against the Swans last year. And I'm going to go Adelaide by 5. Now, Roos, Pies. The Pies will win that by 36. Move to second. Giants, Port. The Giants at NG Stadium. Carlton versus Geelong at the G. I think the Blues win that. Port versus Brisbane. Port by 14 at the Adelaide Oval. At Giants Stadium, I'm going to go Sydney to pick up back-to-back losses. A little bit of a form slump here for the Swans. The D's will convincingly beat the Roos. The Dons will convincingly beat the Eagles. And I think at home, the Dockers should get this job done by 18 points and move into 8th. Round 16, Lions D's. Lions for me. I think the Lions will start to make the Gabba a little bit of a fortress again, and they won't start to drop as many games as they were earlier in the season and sort of make a finals push here at Brisbane. North Bulldogs. Bulldogs will win that by 30. Swans should win that. That being said, Dockers won at the SCG last year, but the Swans are different gravy this year. They'll win by 23. Suns Pies. I'm going to go to Suns again. They're going to make People's First Stadium an absolute fortress and win again there against a good Collingwood team. Geelong will not win by 120 against the Bombers. They will... What's that, the MCG? God, I'm actually going to go to the Bombers here. Bombers at the G by 9. What a team. Who would have thought Essendon would be a top 2 team? Adelaide versus GWS. Crows at the Adelaide Oval for me. It's just going to be such a tight season. There's 2 wins separating 4th and 13th. That's crazy. St Kilda versus Port. I think the Saints will upset the power here. I know St Kilda is sitting in 16th and not a very good team, but I feel an upset here. I reckon the Saints win that. Richmond versus Carlton. I'm going to go with the Blues to win big by 56. Eagles, Hawks. God, I could go either way. I think the Hawks will win that, though, by 12. Pies, Bombers. Pies for me. Pies by 13. The Anzac Day clash between these two, you couldn't split them. Literally, you could not split them. It was a draw. North versus Gold Coast. Gold Coast by 37. They'll get a valuable away win. Port versus Bulldogs. Port at the Adelaide Oval by 16. Geelong, Hawthorn. Geelong will win that at Cardinia Park. Giants, Blues, Giants. Dockers will take care of the Tigers by 50. Melbourne will beat West Coast by 31. Sydney will beat the Saints by 34. Brisbane will beat Crom at the Adelaide Oval by 22. Pies will win that. At York Park, I still think the Dockers, we've been very good as of late at UTAS, so I'll go us by 13. Sydney will smash North. Bulldogs, Carlton. I'm going to go the Bulldogs in an upset by 3. Is it even an upset anymore? Because they're above the Blues on the table now. A lot of teams there on 9 wins. Geelong are out of the 8. Oh my word. Melbourne versus Essendon. I reckon the D's win that, actually. I reckon the D's are going to go and beat the Bombers. Crows, Saints, Crows. Suns, Power. I'm going to go with... I think Gold Coast, just again, they're going to be formidable at home. Richmond versus GWS. GWS will take care of them massively. Brisbane will go to the West and beat the Eagles. Essendon versus Adelaide. Bombers, I think. Giants, Suns. Giants at home. Saints, West Coast at Marvel. I've got to go the Saints, I think, in this one. I think the Saints will win that. Hawks, Pies. Go. I tell you, if McGuinness puts another hard tag on Dacos, I reckon the Hawks are going to go and upset Collingwood by 2 points. Geelong, Bulldogs. Geelong at home by 13. Port will smash the Tigers at home. I think that the Swans go away to the Gabba and win. I think... Oh, God. I mean, Melbourne have already been smashed by West Coast at Optus, which makes me think maybe they're not as good at Optus. They smashed us a couple years ago. Sunday Arvo. I believe, if I remember correctly, this is our Starlight game. And we're historically quite good in those games. We usually turn up. So purely for that fact, I'm going to go the Dockers in a close one by 2. I think it'll be a cracker, but that's such an even game at Optus. Both teams 11-7 now. And then Blues will take care of the Roos. The Blues are sitting 10th. They really need to get themselves back in that finals race. We've got 5 rounds to go. Sydney, Bombers, Giants, Power, Pies, D's, Dockers, Cats. And just on the verge there, the Suns, the Blues, and maybe the Lions and the Dogs can make a push. At Marvel, I'm actually going to go Carlton to get back-to-back wins. Bellerive, Cats will win, doesn't matter. At Carrara, I reckon Gold Coast will beat the Lions in the Q Clash. At the Docklands, it doesn't really matter. The Bombers will win. D's beat Giants at the G. I don't think the Eagles will win 2 derbies. I think the Dockers will win that. Pies will take care of the Tigers massively. Richmond 1-18, North 0-19. I think that is quite obviously the bottom 2 this year. Sydney versus Bulldogs. Sydney. Adelaide will beat Hawthorn. Then we'll move to round 21. I think I'm going to go the Dogs at Marvel. I think the Dogs win that at Marvel. They're 10-10 now. The Suns go away and beat the Eagles. Then I reckon the Roos beat the Tigers. I reckon the Roos are going to send Richmond to the bottom of the table. I've just seen more that I like from North Melbourne this year than Richmond, which isn't saying a lot. But I just think there's more excitement with North Melbourne. Cats, Adelaide, Geelong for me at Kardinia Park. Collingwood, Carlton, Collingwood, who moved to 2nd. Port vs Sydney at the Adelaide Oval. I'm going to go with the Power in a big upset by 5 points. Giants, Hawks, Giants for me. Bombers, Dockers. Bombers should win that by 32. They're going to be formidable at the MCG, which actually moves the Dockers out of the 8. Saints, Lions. Saints are going to upset by 2. Saints are going to upset by 2, which pretty much rules Brisbane out of finals. Swans, Pies. Swans at the SCG will take care of Collingwood. Swans are flying at the moment. They're easily going to finish top of the table. Lions, Giants. I think the Lions probably... Lions at home. I'm going to go with them. Actually, no, I'll go the Giants. Actually. North versus West Coast. I reckon West Coast go away and beat the Roos, get their 6th win of the season. Dockers, Cats at home. You'd probably back the Dockers against Geelong. Geelong actually lost to the Dockers at Optus last year and doesn't look like they're in a great vein of form at the moment. You back the home team in that matchup. Bombers, Suns. Probably the Bombers, but I'll go 15. Melbourne, Port. Melbourne. Carlton, Hawthorn. I'll go Carlton, but anyone could win that. Richmond, Saints. I'd go the Saints by 28, especially at Marvel. Actually moves St Kilda out of the bottom 4. Adelaide, Bulldogs at the Adelaide Oval. I think I'm going to go with the Crows to win that, which eliminates the Bulldogs from finals contention pretty much. Now, let's go to round 23. Bombers, Swans. Bombers win that. Top of the table clash. The Bombers win. Wow. Imagine CDVS in 1v2. Gold Coast, Melbourne. Gold Coast on the Gold Coast. That's what I'm thinking. The Suns are into 8th. We never play well at the showgrounds, and I think it'll be more of the same. The Giants will beat the Dockers by 27 points. Pies, Lions. Pies. Saints, Cats. Cats. Power, Crows. Crows. You know what? Crows are an upset showdown victory. Which does it keep Adelaide? No, it doesn't keep Adelaide finals contention. They're out of finals contention. Bulldogs, North. Bulldogs, I think, but in a big win. Hawks, Richmond, Hawthorn by 33. Puts the Saints back in the bottom 4. And West Coast, Carlton are Optus. Doesn't matter. Blues by 32. And 9th and 10th, Carlton and Fremantle. They're both going to be... Look at that. 5th to 10th. All have 13 wins. What a massive final round this could be. Brisbane, Essendon. I think the Bombers go away to the Gabba and win and move to the top of the table. Who do the Swans have in the last round? Could the Bombers snatch the minor premiership? Carlton, Saints. Carlton move to 5th. Geelong, Eagles. Geelong by 40. Hawthorn, North. Hawthorn by 33. Which they go above Brisbane. What a season for the Hawks. Melbourne, versus Collingwood. Collingwood, I reckon. Richmond, Gold Coast. Gold Coast win at the MCG. Sydney, Adelaide. Sydney will take the minor premiership. They'll beat Adelaide by 27. Bulldogs, Giants. I think Bulldogs at Mars. Bulldogs at Mars win that. Freo, Port. Oh, this is basically whoever wins plays finals. Whoever wins plays finals. Wow, this could be the last game of the season. We were very bad last year, and we narrowly lost to Port at home. Historically, we usually beat Port at Optus, and we're a better team this year. If you look at the ladder, pretty much even. Call me biased all you want. I think the Dockers win this. If you take a look at the previous stats, who wins these games? We narrowly lost to them at the Adelaide Oval. We narrowly lost to them as a bad team at Optus last year. I think the Dockers win this by 5 points, which puts Freo into the 8. Oh, my word. Let's go into finals. Sydney versus Giants. First qualifying. Actually, by the way, that means Melbourne and Port both miss finals. That's unbelievable. Sydney Giants. First qualifying final. I'm going to go with the Swans to win that. Cats, Dockers. This will probably be played at GMHBA, this final. And I'm going to go the Cats, unfortunately. We've got such a good track record at GMHBA, so I wouldn't be surprised if we won that. But I expect Geelong to. Gold Coast, Carlton. At People's First, give me the Suns. Give me the Suns in their first ever final. Essendon, Collingwood. At the G, I think finals experience and the history of the Essendon. Give me Collingwood. Giants, Geelong at NG Stadium. Giants. And then Bombers, Suns at the MCG. I think the Bombers actually win a final. I'm tipping the Bombers to win a final. They move into a prelim. Swans, Essendon. Prelim at the SCG. Could go either way. First v second. I'm going to go Sydney. And Collingwood, GWS at the MCG. I'm going to go Collingwood. Which gives us a grand final of Sydney versus the Pies. First v third. And I'm going to go with the Sydney Swans to win the flag. I think they are head and shoulders the best team in the competition this year. I think they will win the premiership. And yeah, that's how I think the 2024 season will shape out. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.